recording.
Yeah, go for it. I thought you was recording this whole time.
Oh no, that's what I felt. I didn't feel bad, but I was like, oh, this shit is like, damn, like this shit is so natural that whenever it catches on, I'm like, all right, well, shit, let me not miss any more of this good shit.
Yeah, no, that's what we do. We record shit.
Man, yeah, wow, bro. To think like fucking going on like 25, going on 30 years. I know you say it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but it's more than 25. At the yeah, more than 25. Yeah, it's almost like 30 years of like fucked them up, giving them like figuring it out and doing that shit. Man. It's a blessing, man. It's like when I think about it, there's not even a greatest hits. There's no greatest duo. Those questions, it's like there's not even a comparison. Don't even put us in those categories because like we did it and we did it so great that sometimes like we were saying, it is hard to talk about because you know like it was magic. But you know, at certain times, and this being like 15 years behind an idea that came from the beginning of all this shit, it's like we gotta talk a little bit, just a little bit. So first and foremost, welcome to the A, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Travis.
Good to see you, man. What a time,
Time flies, man.
bruh. Like even when oh shit, damn, we could actually do this. That's perfect timing. Hey,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cubano.
yes, the man.
Happy birthday to you.
Man,
Happy birthday, brother.
what's up, dude?
I appreciate y'all, man.
Hey, man.
We gambling tonight?
What's good, man? I'm sleeping. I've been sleeping.
Yeah.
I got work tonight, but I'm about to go gamble later.
Yeah,
little bones, daddy.
baby. Win some money for us, man.
It's gonna be a lucky day, man. 16 on everything.
Everything's on the up, man.
Yeah. Man, we just in here, you know. We finally was able to connect it in the egg, you know what I'm saying? Trav got to see what we're doing down here, man.
Got to see the pilot.
And, you know, a little something, man. A little something. Just talking that talk, you dig? But, yeah, man. It's, you know.
What y'all gonna be on, though, man? It's raining up here.
Yeah, I got a flight in a couple hours.
Yeah, Trav got a fight, so he just
I'm hoping that my flight is not delayed.
yeah.
But I'm gonna try to get with you this weekend though. If you're gonna be around. Grab some
Massanetta.
carne
Massanetta, okay.
That's a nectar. But no, man, I appreciate y'all.
Man, love you, man. I'm gonna send something up with Trav for you, Playboy.
See, you gonna tell me when you get home.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let me know something, man.
Boy, Josh going crazy, man.
Is it real?
I think he just won like 10 bands.
Good Lord. I be seeing it. I be saying like, yo, man, I need to learn.
Yeah, real money, like what? Yeah.
Heard.
All right, love you, man. Happy birthday,
man. Love you, man.
Perfect timing.
That's crazy.
Perfect timing. But yeah, man, we done been through some things, man. We done really set the world on fire, and then we was able to actually grow up, you know, and you know, first and foremost, bro.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the text you sent me.
oh shit. So the fucking shit, and the thing that was so crazy, your AWOL story is gonna be different, of course, but shit. I mean, that's when. All right, so that's perfect because I've been wanting to do this shit, and like I said, we hit the 15-year mark on January 19th. I was gonna do it. I think I did a live that day, but so yeah, let's talk about it, bro. Like so.
I'm gonna go.
Yep.
The first one is introduce yourself.
Yes, there we go.
So my name is Travis Christopher Vaughn. I am Eliana's husband and Luca's father. And I like being out here. I'm happy to be here.
Man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Where and when did we meet?
Yeah, tell him.
You and I met as strangers.
Yeah.
At a daycare.
Mm-hmm. Southwest DC on the waterfront.
Apparently, all black people are related somehow.
Yeah, and they say that, and then when you meet somebody and it's like, hey, man, it's like my cousin. And then I remember this day. I still remember this day. We was walking down. We both got picked up at the same time, and we was walking down the steps. And your mom and my dad, or your dad and my mom were talking.
Wow. And
then they realized that it was the Vaughn level. My mom's maiden name is Vaughn. So, they're just chopping it up after like we were ahead of them, and they said one of the names of one of our like relatives. They was doing they whole 23andMe. Yeah, they was running down real fast.
Family trees.
And they was like, oh, well that's mine, and just like, oh shit, we cousins. And then after that, we just kept running it. Like that was just from that moment on. Even before that, we was locked in like off the. I was just my dog. Like what I'm saying, you meet somebody, different schools, but we ended up at that same spot. Shout out to Lincoln Learn and all that, but try to keep it together. Keep it together.
Yeah, that's not the fun part though, because we were kids. We weren't doing that.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was your?
But then
moment? No, I'm jumping ahead.
But then we went. But then
nobody cares.
It really got lit in high school, bro.
Did it?
It got lit before.
I don't think so.
Nah, bro, because we was like, remember when you came to DeMatha in your sophomore year, and then it was like, yo, this is my dog. We was already tight, but then it was we going to high school.
First day of high school, true story. First time and probably only time I unwillingly ate lunch all by myself. A room full of people. I'm sitting at this big ass table by myself. Like I don't know nobody in here. Matt around this motherfucker somewhere. I guess. No, none of that's fun. We're gonna get to the fun part. What was your fucking high school? It feels like 7 lifetimes.
Bruh, it really does. I be seeing stuff on the old social medias and stuff, but I'm still on the old shit.
What was your earliest AWOL memory?
There we go.
Oh, AWOL moment.
Yeah.
Earliest AWOL moment. My earliest AWOL moment was actually in Atlanta. All right, let me define what I think an AWOL moment is first. We'll make this interesting. There's a space, I think, where even if you've never been somewhere and you don't know anybody and you have no general direction, I think there's a space where you can have an energy that connects everything around you. So you can walk in a room and connect with the people there because you can relate to them, and not necessarily because you do the things you do, but you respect and you appreciate their way of doing it.
Yep.
That's what it is for me. Mm-hmm. So the first time I can remember experiencing that was being down here. I don't know, like spring break. I don't know. It was something.
Family Ties Volume 1.
It was something crazy.
Yeah, I got it. I remember it. It was spring break though, 2009, I think. 2008, 2009.
2007. It was like freshman year. Anyway,
yeah.
Early college spring break. I remember coming down here and walking through Little 5 5 points maybe. And it's like all these shops that I only see on the internet and all these places and people you at the time were just like names on blogs and videos on the internet. And it's like walking through there and having people dap you up because they're happy to meet you and wanting to show you things and just fold you into like what's going on. That's the first time I remember like, yo, this is different. Like there's something different about because being in Philly, like if you out moving around, you got a style. Like you can't be
You
open.
can't be nice.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't
not
be nice.
Philly at the time. Like you can't be walking around open, chatting with people. Like nah, fam, that's not gonna fly. You gonna end up with a gun in your face. That's not gonna fly. So being down here was like, yo, they don't know me from scratch, and it's all love. Like that's my first memory of something like that.
During that same time,
And that's even before picking up a camera.
yeah, that was I remember actually that was we during that time. I remember because I remember specifically that was the album.
We took pictures.
Yeah,
but that was
before.
I
That
don't
was
even
a
know
point
what
shoot.
little red point and shoot I borrowed from
was-
somebody to do that. That was like my roommate's camera that I took with me on the trip.
Man.
So we took pictures. I remember chopping them up on Photoshop and doing the thing, or even the reaction to those photos.
Yeah.
Even though now looking at it, like the reaction to the photos wasn't the important part.
Yeah.
But tying all that stuff together, being able to have those moments and then capture them on film and then make them look as exciting as they felt, like adjusting the colors and doing this and adding the background and putting filters, doing all that stuff, making it look as exciting as it felt, and then being able to share that with everybody else and have them feel it, like that changed who I was at the time.
Man, I remember that Family Ties, Volume 1, and that was D. I feel like that was around the same time that I reconnected with D down here. So and then what was Jonathan was in. There was a couple folks that was in the mix from our childhood, but bringing it all back together. That's why I still to this day, like in my top albums when I think about it during that time, because that's when we was on the Facebook albums and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So remember, right? Naming those Family Ties Volume, I know exactly what those pictures are, and I remember that.
Tracks
The train tracks, and then we was at the little exhibit where they had the little rap art gallery thing around the corner, and then being in Little 5 doing the shit with Hollywood, and you know what I'm saying, on the whim though, you know what I'm saying, and I was when that shit was just so
all
much
just
fun.
because you outside,
man,
being nice and hanging with people, like all these other things transpired. That was my first time experiencing anything like that.
Man, how was explain like how like the Philly wave, because you really I feel like from that moment on, like, and I know you was getting active in Philly, but when you really kind of took the idea and expanded it to doing, you know, just having that liveliness
like
and
shooting parties.
Yeah, shooting parties and that whole wave, like really setting Philly on fire as in my eyes. Like you made it look fun to come up there and do it. Like how did you feel when that was going on? Like talk to me about Philly, because I've always been very interested in.
I don't know. Sometimes that shit feel like it didn't even happen. Honestly, I remember that piece of it specifically being new. Like no one else was taking pictures at the parties, and my group of friends was the group of people that would have had a problem with somebody taking pictures at the party. So like nobody had a problem with it, because if anybody had a problem with like those,
would be us,
that would be us. So it's like ain't nobody have a problem with it. So it was like, I think after the first couple that I did, it was like I gotta have my camera on me when we go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I gotta get at least like 50 pictures, whatever it was, like the max photos you could post on Facebook at the time. Like I gotta get that amount of pictures, add them up, make sure everybody's got a shot in here looking cool, because that's gonna be their profile picture for the next week. And I gotta put a little AWOL tag at the bottom, because that's You mean it? I don't know. That was interesting. That was. I don't. I mean, of course, after that, a lot of people get cameras and a lot of people start shooting the party maybe like a year or so later. But there was like a solid semester in there where it's like I was the only one doing it, and Philly parties were. I'm sure they're like college parties. Every fucker is hot, it's sweaty. Everybody's not looking their best, and you know what I mean.
Of course. Bro, you know
Now it's like if you posted photos like that of people at parties, like you get kicked in the head. Like nobody, you can't post photos like that anymore.
Man,
some of those need to come down.
Yeah, bro.
Facebook.
Yo,
my bad.
I mean,
that shit is still active. I do not look at that shit.
Every once in a blue moon, because I feel like nobody's even on that to you.
Everybody on here knows. Everybody that knows. I'll text you a random photo from 2007. Like, look what came up in my phone today. This shit crazy.
Like, oh my god, I thought that was God. Oh yeah.
And I got them printed out. We print out maybe every year, probably. We print out like 100 some odd photos and put them in photo albums on the shelf. So like we have all this shit printed out.
Yeah, I gotta show you mine.
I think that's the piece. That's the piece a little bit where like the digital version of AWOL changed for me, because it was like I can't like separating from my phone a little bit. It was just like I can't have to go to my phone and look at it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can't, or have to pull it up on my phone and show it to somebody.
Yeah, because
I don't particularly like my phone anymore. So like we gotta start printing these joints out, and you put them out in an album. So it'll be like a whole section of the first trip to Atlanta, or whole section of like us at some function, or some shit, or a whole section of us all at South by.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I have the photo paper. A lot of times it's really just getting over in that corner to be able to just or sift through what's going on and then pick the ones to print out. And I need frames and stuff because I want to do it like the right way. But nah, bro, like I totally feel you on that, because when I think about it and just go back through, and that's why I remember these different albums. Like I said, I have favorites. The Love album, like which was February 14th, or wait, it was I think it was 420, either 420 or it was Valentine's Day of whatever year that was. And I can remember those pictures, I remember those moments, and they really strike. And that's what I've been really trying to, kind of almost write the captions or write the story blurb that goes with each one of the albums now, going back in retrospect. But man, I remember one of the things I remember. You had this armband, and we was talking one time. I think it was either right before I was about to come back upstairs, or it was right when, like, I feel like we just got the acronym down. And he's like, "Yo, bro, like I got this Nike wristband. I just got it, and it randomly had the AWOL." And I was like, "Bro, let's just run it. Like, I don't know. Like, let's just do it like we did when we was fucking 8 years old. Like, it's just figure the shit out."
You know, boutique in Boston called AWOL. I can't remember what it stood for, but it was a sneaker boutique in Boston called AWOL, and that was my first trip up to Boston with Eliana. And we went there, John. I couldn't afford nothing in there, but homie was cool and he gave me that little Tiffany colored wristband.
Man,
store shop on it said.
Bruh, speaking of that, because that was such another major part of how it all came together. And it was also organic, but you were the sneaker guy. Still probably to this. I mean,
come on, man. You see how I step out.
But you were the real reason why I got into sneakers, and I remember it was one of them that I came back and you had like given me a pair of, I think it was like the fives,
oh yeah,
and that shit was just like
It was a pair of 14s. It was in black and red 14s.
Yeah. Or no, what? It was the 13s. It was the Flint joints.
The Flint 13s.
Yeah, the Flint 13s, and then those.
Oh yeah, because I had a pair. They were like size
13. I was like, that's my size. Just like,
I bought them from Jen.
Hey.
Maybe like 5 years before that, I bought them from Jen just to have them.
But
that's crazy.
I remember that one picture when you were at Wale's concert, when you had the Tiffany up in the air, bro. That was like, I feel like I mean, of course, I knew that she was, you know, getting busy, but that's when I was like, oh, my boy got this shit in a fucking headlock up there. And then I feel like that summer was when we came back, and that was when we was throwing the parties at your parents in the house, and we was just like really just start doing whatever the fuck we wanted. It was some crazy shit. Like that was a crazy, crazy time, bro. I look back at that stuff, and it's just like from going from there to like getting in and you know getting in on the music side and you know really being on the breaking edge or the cutting edge or whatever. But I don't know what you know what they say. You know that at the starting point of you know a lot of this stuff that would later be called culture, would later be called content, but it was really just some shit that you know piqued our interest at the time. You know what I mean? It was, you know, that was crazy.
Or like online music video
Bruh,
stations. I
what,
claim that.
bruh, oh, that's all
That
you.
shit sucks.
Bruh,
I wish I
oh
had it
my
written down somewhere,
God.
but that's one thing that just
Oh,
didn't exist. It
bruh,
just
bruh.
didn't exist. It didn't.
Bruh.
There wasn't one.
AWOL TV.
It wasn't.
Talk about it. Please talk
No,
about
I
it,
don't want to talk
John.
about it. It makes me
Please.
sad. It's like one of those clearly, like, because now even like Revolt,
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah. We was
It's
there.
like, it was a $1 billion idea that I just like couldn't execute the way I wanted to, and I don't know. It was dope. I used to sit around and watch it, but clearly
Bruh.
filling it with content and doing all that takes like
Yeah, it takes
a lot
time
of
and
team
you know,
and a lot of
and then at the time, you know, because of us, everything had to get sharper. I feel like with like because there wasn't Twitter was we was there a little before Twitter, but like the Instagram shit, like that was when I feel like they literally made that to try to foil our
no, that's a stretch. Yeah, sure, I agree with you.
just because that was our space, you know what I'm saying? Like before, when we would go to these shows and shit, like people would be there
Oh, yeah.
dancing, partying. Nobody's even worried about
Yeah,
they shit
nobody's
because
about filming it.
they
We got
know
it,
that
and
we-
we'll get the link tomorrow
Yeah,
with the whole recap.
exactly, with
You know, enjoy
everything,
yourself
like,
now.
enjoy
We'll film
it.
it for you.
We'll
Right.
take a picture for you. We'll document everything for you. So then, you know, when they, you know, when you know, not when you know, whatever, but when it's now that everybody feels that they have to do it. Not only, it's not even not can I do
Everybody's
it.
making movies.
Yeah, like it's like well, damn. Everybody's making movies. It kind of feels like it trivializes, you know, what we
No
did.
facts, and now I certainly can't charge for it.
Bro,
I certainly can't get paid
you
for
can't
it.
get
now.
like what, like unless, and even the people with the crazy big things like the have the top of line equipment, they're still struggling. They have to do stuff.
They do most of that stuff for free.
Exactly.
Make money on the ad revenue.
Yeah, and you know, that shit just never really like it's never really set right with me. But then also recognizing that to be a player is to adjust. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be as upset as I want to be about the fact that damn, well they took our lane, like we did it first. No. That's why I can always say like you can't be first. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the first and best. Because nowadays it's like I remember I was talking to somebody and shout out to them, but I'm not gonna say your names. But you know, we had a conversation and really we weren't really agreeing. And I'm probably a hothead this time. I'm like, you don't know what to talk about. Like this shit had to be. He's like, no, bro, it just gotta be up there. And that was when I realized, like, yo, they're not looking for. They just want it to be first. I don't care what it looks like. I don't really give a fuck about how it lays. Like we gonna go through and how it lays, how it sounds, and you know, it is. You know, it was difficult to kind of give that up. But then you also got to realize, all right, you just got to work around it. And we do, you know what I mean? And that's what the merchandising and stuff like that is. And now it's, you know, the idea of figuring out what you love about, like, those feelings. Like, what made me feel that way. And not having to do that same thing, but kind of be able to display or make revenue from the idea just in a different sense. Like even with the clothes and shit, like thrifting was a major part of a lot of the stuff and the shoes and like the merch and like we was uptown and got that first cutter, the first cutter and the heat press and shit, right? And a lot of this stuff is smaller now, but it's the same general concept. And even having those ideas and seeing those same ideas or the concept go and become something bigger through people understanding what's going on and also understanding how it got to that person. Like this isn't nothing that is by circumstance. Not even just seeing this online. Like I know the link that how you got to build, and it's flattering. With a lot of these scenarios, and that's what I feel like that's why it doesn't sting as bad because it could sting real bad. Like damn, we was first and we not getting nothing. But it's just like it's flattering and it's inspiring. It's like, all right, well, I know this hit not because you got it from me, but because I see this idea going everywhere, and somebody heard it be said, or someone took that grain and shared it with somebody who could make it happen, and I feel it because they also tell you, when people see you in person, they tend to give you more flowers than, or they give it up more versus it being the whole social media realm and shit, which is, man, that's so crazy. Remember when that shit used to be cool, bro?
No.
Bruh, you have to remember when it was fun for a minute.
It was fun for a minute.
It was like, but it's
Nah.
it is what it is. That shit is wicked scary. But I always thought, and I always tell folks that
Gone for a while.
bruh, I always thought about it like, yo, even when it was cool and had the know how to kind of navigate around it as much as possible. I always thought like, damn, what if they gave us all this and made it so dummy proof that maybe it's like a social experiment where it's just like, all right, we're gonna give y'all all this, and then we're gonna flip the switch on y'all, and we're gonna see how y'all use this to show how crazy this shit is. Like some crazy, like, oh man, well, all y'all going crazy. Let's just see how crazy this shit gonna look, cause this is entertaining to somebody, and everybody's entertained by this crazy amount of bullshit. And now I look at it, it's kind of played out, but I'm not trying to get too like wild deep, but like. Yeah, man, I watch that shit nowadays. I was like, even they had the shit I seen the last like 3 days. They had the turkey joint and 37,000 people got earthquake in Turkey and Syria, like 37,000, and then in Ohio they had some shit to derail with hazmat material. I was like, yo, this is better than everything on Tubi and freaking. All these apps, YouTube, they got shit on this, like this little like strum through of just what's going on. It could be real.
Strum through a trauma.
Yeah, this little strum traumas. It's probably doing way more bad than it's good. Oh, it definitely.
You can sue. I feel like, and this will be the only thing I say about it because I don't like.
I don't want to get into it.
You consume more trauma like this than you do vegetables in a day, every day.
Yeah, and then you try
or fruit, or water.
Yeah,
when you think about it like that,
it's wild.
I mean, I don't know. I don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
I dipped out a long time ago.
Yeah, man, save yourself.
I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that it made something that we were doing that felt special and like very valuable, like giving people this deeper look at the dope thing they experienced, and they only got to see it from their point of view, but now they get to see it from a point of view they wouldn't have. Like not everybody can be on stage, not everybody can be in the front, not everybody can have that experience, but if you can film it and show it back,
then it kind of
and if you can get the crowd in it, then I don't know, it sounds silly now
Yeah.
because everything you do has a recap video. You could fucking
And the thing, bro,
anything you do has a
the
recap
thing
video,
that's
but
so
it
crazy,
wasn't then.
people's recap videos now from their phones and shit. Not that it could never, in my eyes, it doesn't compare to even our weakest of works. But I'm like, yo, how the fuck did you even like? You did that from? How did you do that?
Like you back there,
Yeah, like
you ain't you ain't had to figure out how to get
maneuver
to the,
here.
let alone on the stage. You ain't had to
Right.
figure none of that out. You did that from just in the crowd with a $10 ticket. You know what I mean? It's
Two questions now. All right, what was your favorite event that we ever went to, and what was your favorite project that we ever did?
I think the way I kind of floated through South by Southwest 2015 or something, to this day is still unmatched.
Yeah.
Like that
Wait,
was,
was that 2015? Was that when we had everybody there, or was
No,
that
that
the
was-
year afterwards?
it was a year after.
Okay.
Here we had everybody. It was fucking wrangling goats the whole time. People getting arrested, people getting walked on by
just
cops,
like,
and cars getting lost. So that was but the year after.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a wild one.
That was a wild one. But I don't know, man. That was just one of the first times it was like, oh, I can really do whatever I want. Like no one's stopping me. These people don't even.
They don't know.
If I bring the energy I just collected from there and just walk it over here, that guy's happy to have me here.
Yeah.
Like that was, and I don't know. It was crazy, and I held on to that feeling. Literally, I mean, I use that feeling as fuel all the time because that really taught me, like, if you really stop and appreciate what people are doing and the energy that they putting in to the thing, then like they'll recognize that shit, and that love just gets bigger. So I use that all the time. That's why South by Southwest 2015, when we made them stickers with like the X. InternationalAWoL logo.
Yeah.
Made all them clear stickers. I still have like a huge stack of them jumps.
Hey, need some.
The buttons. Made the buttons.
Yeah, man.
And the little black and white pins.
Yeah,
Giving people
man.
buttons and pins. Like
The illest shit about that was seeing that button maneuver and be in these different
or like on people I know I didn't give it to. That was cool. That was special. That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah. And favorite project was in that same favorite joint we shot. And I got my answers for these too.
Favorite shot.
Like, it doesn't even have to be like a concert.
Yeah,
It could be
thinking.
Look out of them.
If I had to pick a favorite, I think the default one would have to be like the Kendrick Lamar Schoolboy Q jump. Because I just, from that point in time in Kendrick's career, even to this day, I'm not sure that there's a performance better documented of him. And Q at that is like the joint where they do the whole song like over, like there's I don't think there is any like full concert footage of Kendrick from that time.
Yep, nope.
Like maybe somebody has something and they putting it together, but that one would probably be my favorite, because if I were to ever like pull something up, like if it was 20 years from now, pull something up like, yo, I remember shooting the greatest rapper alive. And then I think it was the South by Southwest the next year when we called him at the little show, and he was like, yo, what's good? Like I remember y'all shot the whole show that last time, like that. The energy just kind of rolls into the next thing, and then into the next thing, and then into the next thing, and it's that would be my favorite.
Yeah, man. That's a good one. That was a real good one. Yeah, that one was crazy. I feel like one of my favorites was the series, the All in a Day's Work series was just like that shit was so dope because it was like a look at us being ourselves, you know what I mean? But all the stuff that it took to get like this big thing done and not even really knowing like bro, the wiggle game with all that shit when we shot when we shot Corner Wars video that time, going to the Rolling Papers tour, and it was all of us in that picture, and you know, Wiz and recipes to Mac Miller, and you know what I mean, like Currency and Big Sean, everybody like being there and being in the mix. You know who was there that day? And shout out to her. You remember little Alex Vaughn?
Sure.
She was there that day with Alexis, because they were like my students at the time. You know what I mean? Working at the Y on some CIT shit, like
the Rolling Papers World Tour.
Yeah, okay. They were there, and like, cause I was working with them at the same time, and that was the first time they had saw me, you know, maneuvering and wiggling and doing the shit.
Right. And
then, you know, from that moment on, to her to be, that's big time right now. I talked to her a couple of days ago, and you know, it was crazy just to see that and going back and watching them. Of course,
she's fucking out of here,
bruh. And when I talked to her, cause I'm a shit. That's probably like a week. I'm gonna text her to cause I'm gonna go shoot that show. And
oh, you know, I don't know. Now I'm starting to think about it. All the ones that were my favorite to shoot are the ones I look back on now and I'm like, oh, that was tight. Like Post Malone's first
bruh.
Like I have that whole thing on like of his first time on stage
like
in front of people.
That was like crazy. Being out there on
he was like so excited he couldn't even do the song. He was just like flying around on the stage.
Man,
like, that was crazy.
That joint, NY Tree, remember that joint? We went to New York and DD 172.
Yeah, my father had on that Ski Beat shirt that's not supposed to exist.
Man, and that was really, I feel like that was the first time being able to see like the workspace station, like where everybody's just able to create, and then they got these different little pieces that could turn it into.
Yeah, that was the first time I was like, oh, this is how you do it.
Yep. When Dane was like just laying down working, and you know, I was like, yo, this is exactly what I want to do. Remember when we went to that party that night too? I can't remember where he was. I think it was in Santos. And we just partied. We just not having a care in the world. And Dave just looking at us just like.
And it was Ski Beats and Sensei.
Yeah.
Performing at Santos.
Man.
Something like that.
Yeah. Another one of my favorites was when Gleesh, was it, the first one was in Brooklyn, but then when I don't know. Did you come up there when he did the Gleesh walk the first time he was walking on water? Bruh, it was him and Fredo Santana.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and Yams. That was the first time where I think Yams had met him, and
we took the bus to Brooklyn.
Yeah, bro. Yep.
I remember shooting that whole thing.
Yeah.
We called it China Bus to Brooklyn.
Man,
to go to that show.
The connecting of all those pieces, you know, because in the grand scheme, like, you know, not even to, you know, not, of course everybody worked their way to get to these points, but just the whole idea of like, this is dope enough where somebody else gotta see it. We just gonna do that. You know, it's not even necessarily sending it to people with the intentions of it getting seen and people getting signed. It's more so like, yo, this is just some dope shit that we fuck with. These are our folks. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. Send it directly or indirectly. Just put it out to the wind. Like, that was so crazy. Like, I still love the fact that, and even to this day, it should still work. Word of mouth still like really runs the game, but the word of mouth now is the internet, and it's like people are getting paid to, you know, to
word their mouth.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what content creators are doing, you know. But you know, I still see it, and shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody that we were able to work with over this 15-year time. You know what I'm saying? Big and small. You know, if we were able to document it at all, I know that it made a difference to somebody, and even if it's just to us, like, you know, it is, you know, that
And
time.
man, I have to prove to my son one day that I was fucking cool.
Bruh, like,
Got it on tape,
bruh,
family.
We've been cool.
Or even just the other day, me and Ellie are watching that video. I'm like, that's Matt's head.
Bruh, when you see that, I was like, what?
I'm like, yo, what?
And
He's
then,
like, where? I'm like, nah,
then,
wait, he gonna pop back up.
and
I
then
promise.
when you see, and then when you sit there, I was like, yo, I remember. Like,
that
without even having to watch the video, I remember this moment. Like, I remember that shit, bro. Like, you know.
He smoked out the green room and everyone laughed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said put the thing out.
Yeah, who was we with that one time was backstage? What was like Dom Kennedy and everybody, and this was like we had been cool, like being down in this mix, and even when you came in the first time, you got to see like, you know, the blog era and the blog life were really just come to life.
That's what blogs ran things,
bruh. And I would go through and think about it, like, yo, like I was really like with these people that we watch on these other podcasts now, or just people that really like change trajectory of history in a grand scheme, and just like, yo, we were there, and not only were there, but we were like, they wanted us there. We like provided, you know, stuff. Sometimes people even hit me up about like licensing stuff, like Key and them. They did a Complex documentary. Complex reached out and licensed, and of course it wasn't no money, but it's just like, all right, well, yeah, you can use the stuff, just document it and put this in there. And it came out, I can't remember when it was, but it was just the idea of, wow, like to have created real history. That was really what the whole idea was about. Like, yo, I get to watch and listen and, you know, be, you know, watch from afar a lot of times, just like how all this stuff comes up, and I know how, you know what I mean? Like, even with the Summer Walkers and stuff, like a lot of people who we influenced, you know, directly and indirectly, or just was in the mix, have done some incredible shit. Shout out to Stymie and the Smash Brothers and stuff like that. I still talk to Stymie all the time, because they're making some dope music, but his music was, you know, he was doing the Wizards and stuff. He's super viral on TikTok and all this other stuff, and really doing music. And that came from the ciphers and being around 1135, and, you know, like Trav and all those people, those initial stuff that you was putting down, is like, you know, that stuff is still resonating. When people even talk about Fat Trav and Shy Glizzy and Gleesh and Phil Day and all these people that really carved a whole, like, gave an identity to an area musically beyond just go-go. Because, I mean, everybody know go-go and R&B from DC, but we made rappers. Like, we gave them that. No one can tell me no different, you know? And not that anybody would, but they remember it too, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's more difficult to get these people. I probably don't pull up in nobody's algorithm anymore, but that's fine with me, because I don't be posting nothing that damn way besides something, if something's that funny, you know? All right, yeah, I'm alive. Here's some stupid, you know, enjoy. Or when I jump online just for, you know, for a moment. But I feel like the thing that was so crazy, we were enjoying it while recording it. And a lot of times people at that time didn't understand how we could do both. And nowadays, people don't even do both. Now, they're doing what they feared that we were doing, which was just documenting and not living. You know what I'm saying?
I stopped being able to do both when we were in Asia.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the day like it was this morning. I couldn't do both anymore.
Like,
I'm trading too much of the experience trying to
document.
it
Yeah.
all.
How was that though? Like the one in roaming, like when you guys really like when you made it, you know, took it full circle, because it's InternationalAWoL is the whole thing, so had to be, you got to get international. How was those times? Because I don't think I ever got to really like ask you, you know. So like, how was the traveling with the, you know, how was
makes you a different person. Going somewhere and having to figure shit out, it builds who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Black people traveling in Asia, like we'd see people months. Like, I mean, because we were gone for a long time. We'd see somebody like 4 months later, and they'd remember us. Wouldn't remember any of the friends we're traveling with or anything like that. But like, oh yeah, you're like the two black people I know.
Yeah.
Like that type of energy, I think, influenced a lot of our trip, where we were able to do things and hang with people and have experiences that may not have been available to us, or even if they were available, like maybe it fallen a little flat.
Right.
Because like I don't know, tourists in general are just seen as like piggy banks. Like you just get what I can give you. That's real. If you got money, I know you got it. I kind of need some. Let me get as much of that as I can get on.
Get it
right.
by force, by choice.
Do it again with the next person that wants to come experience whatever my culture is.
Yeah.
For the, you know what I mean? That's what it is. That's a traveler's tax, and you got to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
I think with us though, having a different background than people were accustomed to, or maybe only one that they've experienced on television or through some form of thing they really fuck with, like the energy. Like if somebody's only reference for black people is Snoop Dogg, and that's real. I know that sounds like the time is Obama.
Yeah. Oh.
People's only reference of a black man is Barack Obama, the president of the world.
Just like that.
Right? So
you gotta be like him.
Me walking through Vietnam and then Ellie next to me with her long curly hair because it's humid and it's all fucked up. They're like, who? What is that?
Like, what?
You know what I mean? So I think that influenced our trip a lot.
Man.
Every trip anybody takes can be life changing if you let it. And that was just, it was long enough. It was being gone long enough and assimilating to their culture deeply enough to where coming back was harder than leaving.
Oh.
Coming back was fuck. Like there's like 3 months in there that I just don't remember.
Like
that
coming back or
coming back here.
Oh.
Yeah. And some of the people I worked with at the time was like, yeah, bro, you was fucked. Like you were not in a good space. Like I don't remember any of it. I remember the day I quit the job at a bake joint, or had to quit because it was just like, I remember standing at the espresso machine. We got back on a Tuesday because we were poor. We came back the day after my birthday. We were poor on my birthday, and I was like, I refuse to spend my birthday in America. Like I'm not doing it. So we got like noodles or something for my birthday. That was my birthday party. Shout out to Tony. We got some food for my birthday in Bangkok. Came back, was broke, went back to work on a Thursday immediately, and probably did that for a couple months. I remember one day standing at the espresso machine, and we were traveling, so I got maybe like 6 outfits, and what I was wearing was something I left here. So it was like I blinked, and the whole trip never happened. I'm in the same spot, doing the same shit, and it was just like I put everything down. I went, called the owner, and was like, yo man, I can't, like I gotta get out of here. Coming back and assimilating to being back here, where it's one, when you're traveling, you're not working. Like traveling and vacation are different. Like traveling is work, it's energy consuming, it's time consuming. You're constantly, especially if you're so far away from your language that like even simple translations, like you just pointing and clicking that shit because like there's no way for us to communicate for real. It makes you have to figure stuff out, and then you kind of adjust to like always figuring stuff out, and then getting good at figuring stuff out, and then being on a routine of like figuring shit out, and then coming back here where it's like nobody's outside. Like people, the thing that fucked me up the most was people just like going from, people are only outside to get from one point to the other, right? Like you leave your house to get to somewhere else, and nobody's just like outside. I got so accustomed to just people in Asia just be outside. Everybody's outside. It doesn't even really make much sense to be inside, right? Like everybody's just outside, so that throws you off a little bit. Being gone there though, especially with just me and Eliana, and it's just me and Eliana relying on each other, and we've got to be there to solve all our problems fairly quickly, because problems can snowball into bigger stuff when you're on the road. It's it was like fusing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our ourselves together. It's like there's not much that can take away from the growth that we had there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's it's like an capsule in like this experience that you can't really diminish in any way. And it's interesting because even like if you like that region in particular is completely different now. You know what I mean? Like even if we were to take the same trip now for the same amount of time, it's not the same place.
Yeah,
anymore. It's much more like here than it was. You know what I mean, when we went? So
yeah, that's crazy. I never and because I mean, it makes perfect sense though. Because even like going back from like switching from going from back home to even here, and then like because I know if I go back home now, I'm probably not gonna recognize
different place.
Yeah. So to do that, and it's two totally different scenarios. Even when I'm thinking about, I mean, whenever it's like they go and come back, and that's probably I got some type of thing. There's probably something about that I do because even like coming back down here to like finish school and shit. Like I remember when I started it, and there was like no social media. It was literally like if you had to cheat, you had to cheat the old-fashioned way. It wasn't really taking notes. It's like nobody like it was real life living and then coming back and doing, finish up the school where, there is like these social ways of communicating that are not this, you know what I'm saying? Very interesting. And then every couple years, like as things change, it is you take the gems and the lessons and you try to remember how things were as much before, so you can understand how different they are, and that's crazy, man. But that's really dope, and that was such a like the way y'all made that so special, and
we tried to film it all and
bruh,
put videos together, and
that shit was
sitting at hostels trying to connect the whack ass Vietnamese internet, trying to upload fucking 3 gig videos to YouTube.
It's like, all right,
waiting, like I gotta spend a whole day.
Yeah, I was about to say, how long did that?
But it was there would be weeks where it's like, okay, this week I have to make this video, I have to edit it, I have to upload it. There was one day we spent somewhere in Malaysia. We went to, it's like this big golden statue in Malaysia, like in this cave. You gotta like climb all these fucking steps to get there, and it's like all these fucking monkeys and shit. It's like this whole experience you're supposed to have.
Right.
And I remember getting back and downloading the footage, and like I was watching it for the first time.
Yep.
It was like I was just there.
Right.
People travel the world and have for years to do that, and I didn't even experience because I was fucking filming it.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, and I remember that was the video that never got posted. So we had done, I think there are 2 that made it online. We had done a 3rd one. It took us, like we stopped filming. We had got so frustrated with it. I was so frustrated. We were at like this cute little waterfall and everything. We did the whole thing, and it was trying to make that video was like, look, this doesn't even feel good anymore.
Yeah.
It's like we're not experiencing this thing, and we've decided to like leave our lives to come do this, and now we're just like filming it. So like I'll take pictures, I'll take a few videos, but like then I'm putting my camera on.
Yeah, and that was the thing. I feel like that's where I feel that all the way, and even like I say, it'll be every blue moon. But remember, like when we would have schedules of what's coming to town, and we're gonna go and do this, and just like, and then getting there, and bro, like I said, I remember being places. I remember like shooting, but the actual moment, like, I can go back and look through all the stuff, and then I get the moments triggered back. Like that's the reason why I can take a picture. I mean, I can see a picture nowadays and write the whole story of what's going on, but at the moment I couldn't do both. And anytime I would try to do both, I would fail miserably. I would fail miserably. My South by trips, Oh my God, bro. Speaking of South by, remember when y'all had tried to have an intervention with me at the what was it, the bikini restaurant joint?
Sure. Try it being the key word.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that didn't go so well. That didn't go so well because he's like, y'all trying to intervene. I'm a problem. And this is titties in front of my face and food. Like this is what y'all.
Titty bar.
Yeah, man. But
That was fun.
it was fun. It was a blast, man. All the things, and this is gonna be great because, like, with this, it's getting to, conversations that, it's harder to come by now just because we are at this level of adulthood and we aren't in the same place, and even with, I'll see where I'm at now, so y'all can go down anytime, but, getting, getting to those points that, you can just back and reminisce and then be able to plug and play everything else together, because but a lot of stuff is telling a story or even describing situations that, we never, we talk about it, but we ain't never really get to really talk about what really, like how it all came to be, and this is just the beginning, but that's what it was for, man. Like we got to do something that very few people before and or after us have gotten to do, which was figure it out together and make history together, and if and when it ever does get to be or more so when it's all put together, it will be the greatest story of all time. You know what I mean? And there's still plenty of stuff to to get done. We're just different, so we just gotta think it out, because we gotta find folks to be able to understand and figure out it's the best way to do things, man. That's all it is, man. That shit is it's a blast. It has been a blast. Still is a blast, It's just changed, but I really feel like it's one of them stories. But I think I've been watching too many of those like comedy rom-com type joints, and not even rom-com, but those like nostalgic joints and stuff. Cause it's just like yo, I be saying that. I was like, oh, this reminds me of my friends. I'm friends, like, But I appreciate growth, man. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, from just getting it and getting serious and becoming the man that appreciate you. Well, you do, for real. Still, since why I care about all this stuff, man, and until till infinity and beyond, man. But now, shit, that's that. I don't know. You got anything else? But I feel like that was pretty good.
Man, it's I do everything in sevens, right?
Yeah.
So
like, it's coming up on the 7.
It came up on the 7.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Eliana got married at the beginning of our third 7. That's like what that date was. But anyway, in that next chapter, I think it's critical to keep whatever energy, like the people have to change. I understand that, and the environments have to change. Clearly, I understand that, but like the energy that propelled you or propelled me through those figuring it out and being broke and doing the energy that propelled me through figuring all that out and making something valuable and special and memorable out of it, like things that I remember and you remember and other people remember. I did not see them for 10 years. I remember them so much. Like creating something that was that special, like that energy has to propel you through the next chapter.
Yeah.
whatever form it decides to take. I know for me, it's my thing was always people, and I just do people through coffee, like,
Yeah.
and then coffee's just the medium that I get to work with people. So like that energy, hold that, keep it, utilize it, use it as fuel, because that's what got us here in the first place. Not necessarily the tools or the format or how people consume entertainment, but that energy is what got us here in the first place.
Yeah. And that's the truth. I think about it, and because every time, and it has been really weird to be kind of in a dynamic where I get the inkling, I get the little sparks of like the people, being around people again. Because I mean, not for nothing, like it's been probably almost 4 years where since I've really felt like the most comfortable being around people in those dynamics, and rest peace to dad. I feel like that had a lot to do with it, but it is that though. You're right, like, cause that was the nature of it, and when I get that feeling, like even like the homecomings or like I did Revolt, Music Fest and shit, and being unafraid of that. Because every time I see it, it's never like a bad thing. Everything is always good. Just remembering that, and staying, like you said, just staying true to where, like where you get that inspiration from. And yeah, man, that's you hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. So that's what this time is. I feel like, and pulling it together and making it all make sense, and like doing it. Too deep in it to not. Too deep in it to not. And I want to do it with the folks that mean the most to me. You dig? Over. This is a we thing. That's why I always speak about everything being a we thing. I ain't do none of this stuff by myself. Still to this day, like all this stuff comes from an energy that was inspired by the folks that that we did it with. We started out with. So it's been good. I feel like the world. When they see it, they go like, it's like, this is legendary. This is one of them ones, bro. This is one of them ones, man. This is really one of them ones.
For like 10, 20 years from now, it'll all be really cool again.
Yeah, it will.
When the pendulum
swings right back, and it's like I don't know where the it's
I'm not even watching the pendulum no more.
Yeah, no.
Let me know when it's swinging back my way.
Yeah, but it's like, I got you.
Too far out for me.
Hey, it's time, bro. It's time.
Pendulum too far gone for me.
Man,
but when it swings back, I think all the moments and all that energy we were able to capture, I think re-gifting that to people,
yeah,
will be really special. Yeah. I love you guys. Got me.
Yep. Peace, man.
I gotta tell you a crazy story, bro.
Yeah.
Is that off?
Yeah, it's about to be off. Yo, man. I know what time it is. I love y'all. Thank y'all for viewing in. Y'all follow us, InternationalAWoL.com and YouTube.com/InternationalAWoL. Love and light to everybody. This has been AWoL special. And you're dismissed.